right, you're gonna hit record.
I hit record.
A perfect outcome to all things. Here's a show. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is a show. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you, you need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed.
Oh, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us.
Sing it with me. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Wee doggy! Wee doggies!
Thank you for that. So we'll
Thank
have to,
you.
we're apparently there's some sound quality issues on the sharing of sound. So if you leaped for your controls, it wasn't you, it was me. It's not you, it's me.
We'll figure it out. There's
Click
some
the little box that says share computer sound. I think so.
We thought we did, but
I believe
you know what?
that I did.
This is really funny because we're just coming back from a
4-day retreat.
a 4-day retreat with Unity of New York, and we were and so that's why we weren't here this morning. And happy 10th anniversary Awakening Together!
Man, puberty's
However-
ahead, and it's going to be great.
It's so good to see you, Arizona, and
Yay.
Susan and Sina. It's so good to see everybody. It really is.
But see, so I've been doing the audio visual at this stuff, so I come back here and like nothing's working. And that's how I started this weekend. It was like why can't everything you just did the regular stuff before, and now it's not doing it anymore? How are we going to mix this? But it's going to work out. So I'll look into it, and thank you for alerting it, because it takes a community to fix one computer. As I'm sure you know.
Yeah, so we've been having technical issues all weekend. It's been really funny. So with the he was doing the video and everything for the retreat, and I was doing the sound, and I was singing, and my speaker went completely dead. The music cut out completely. So it's just been a whole 4 days of technical this, that, and the other.
Live in the moment.
So we just
Chances
kinda,
to live in the moment. I'm here to tell you.
Which leads me to Arizona says I relate well.
Here we go.
Oh, there's
Inca
Inca.
coming in.
Hi, Inca.
Thank you. Oh, look who else got the orange memo.
Yes.
Today's color is orange.
Yes.
Look who else got the orange memo.
Oh, you look
all
beautiful,
right, I know.
Inca. I love that.
Oh, and orange. Okay.
And
See,
Arizona
we're all tracking together here. You begin to realize you come often enough, you will begin to show up in the colors that we show up in. It will happen, and we will know that we are a cult. And please, Bonk.
Bonk.
It does. Regina jokes about that too, so
know.
I've heard her joke about
Oh,
it.
Sina says her shorts are orange.
Okay. My shorts are orange.
My shorts are orange. That's good. Oh gosh, so yeah, we've been having quite a few days. It's been very interesting, and I think we've come away with some new insights, perhaps,
And new friends.
You know, it's been
all those
lovely. Yeah,
things.
it's just been really lovely.
know,
But I am sorry that we missed this morning. I'm sure it was videoed and everything, so we'll have a chance to see it.
We will definitely review.
So
this.
yeah, it's so good. However, we've been having so many technical issues and this, that, and the other over the weekend. I thought it would be fun, of course, to sing our favorite sing-along, which is always appropriate.
Okay, so you know what you know.
You know what it is by now.
Sing along.
Here we go. Let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me
We'll live in peace.
We'll live in peace.
I don't know
I don't know
what anything is for.
what anything is for
Unless I listen to that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me,
It's telling me
this simple truth, that everything is for my good. So let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change
No, you can't change God.
Let things be.
Let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me
We'll live in peace.
will live in peace.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
that you see.
I am as God.
I am as God
created me.
She created me.
We are all. one family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
To live
It's possible to live in peace.
So let things
Here we go.
be.
Bring it home.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change
You
me.
can't change God.
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
You can't change me.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me
We'll live in peace.
we live in peace. Kumbaya. Always good to remember in traffic.
Was there
much fun.
traffic?
Yeah, let me tell you. We won't tell you about let me tell you about my trip down the Taconic.
It was quite a day.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's been having an exciting day here in the sanctuary. It's well, I noticed actually on Friday that it was actually Friday that was the official 10-year anniversary, right? Yeah. And so I saw where Regina posted that she went out for ice cream with a bunch of folks, I guess, from the retreat. That was so cute. It looked like everybody was having a really great time. So, yay! I hope everybody's having a lovely, lovely day. We would like to start with today the lessons in review. We're doing
Especially after what we just say.
yeah.
We used to preface that verse with last verse, favorite verse. It's like, and now for them, it's about the body. That's like the big. That's one of the the things, and it's like, but I am this. I mean, people look at me, and I answer to this body, right? So that's a really the detanglement of that is kind of a thing, which is why we're gonna say it twice a day for 2 weeks.
So,
Well,
so what he means by all of that is that we're in the part of the workbook, if you do the workbook, where we're in a review. But this review in particular starts every day with,
I am not a body, I am free. I am still as God created me.
So it actually starts at lesson 201, I believe it is. Let me look here. Yes, lesson 201. And then it goes through a review of the lessons, prior. So
And a reminder, you only have 165 days in the year.
165 days
365 days in the year. You only have 165 days in the year.
left. Oh yeah, because we're on 201.
We're on the other side of the year.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's funny to think about. So anyway, lesson 201 is where the review starts. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And so the first lesson we're reviewing is something I say all the time, I use all the time. I trust my brothers who are one with me.
And we're gonna expand on that.
We are. And I love what she says, no one but is my brother. No one but is my brother. I am blessed with oneness with the universe and God, my Father, one creator of the whole, that is myself, forever one with me.
That's the prayer.
That's a beautiful prayer. Mm-hmm. And so we had quite an opportunity to put this into practice. I trust my brothers who are one with me. Because so many things were sort of going wrong, quote unquote, and so, it took a whole village to come fix the, the issues that we were having.
And they did fix.
And everything got fixed. And, during the process, emotions were high, and then,
Oh, when I learned so much about myself, don't you love weekends when you just learn so much about yourself in a very, very, very short period of time in front of about 20 people? Yeah, that's the best way to learn quickly.
So it was really great. It was a great opportunity to trust my brothers who are one with me. It was really good. So
that's about community, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah,
about community.
trust my brothers who are one with me.
It really is about community. All right, so the next lesson in the review was, of course, lesson 202. Of course, it starts with, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And it's reviewing lesson 182, I will be still an instant and go home. And I love this prayer. Why would I choose to stay an instant more where I do not belong, when God himself has given me his voice to call me home?
Why do I want to stay one instant where I do not belong? How about that, flipping this like, where do you want to belong? Have you ever wanted, wanting to belong somewhere ever gotten you into trouble?
What do you mean?
Like, wanting to belong to something.
Oh, so much.
You
turn your
that you
whole
compromise.
self
It's
over,
like, see, so he goes, that's what she's talking about. He goes, for doing that, it's like, that's not where you belong. There's rejection. So we don't have to seek belonging. You see what I mean?
I do.
It's this reversal of the question. It's really beautiful. So keep going.
Wow. Okay. I think this was yesterday's lesson. Lesson 203. The review lesson is 183. I call upon God's name and on my own. The name of God is my deliverance from every thought of evil and of sin, because it is my own as well as his.
Thinking on what to do with thinking.
And also, it's reminding me that, we are gods. We are divinity expressed, So when I call upon God's name, I'm calling on my own name, because I am that God. I am that God.
I am.
Yes. Yeah. But wait, Audrey has joined us, I think. Hold on. Hi, Audrey!
Hey! Great.
And so then, I think this is today's. Yes. I believe this is today's, right?
I
think so.
I mean, you can check.
Yeah, okay. Lesson 204.
I am not a body, I am free.
I am still as God created
me.
I still am. I still am. reviewing lesson 184. The name of God is my inheritance. God's name reminds me that I am his son, not a slave to time, unbound by laws which rule the world of sick illusions. Free in God, forever and forever one with him.
How about looking at one world as sick illusion, looking at the world as sick illusions? It was like, oh, wow.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we were talking a lot about that, and over the weekend, and distinguishing, you know, what is an illusion, what is what we see in the world, and then what is ours to do what is our next step to do in that world that we see. You know, there was a lot of talk this weekend about you know, that which we perceive as evil and scary and stuff, you know, in the world. And so it was such a good reminder to know that we have to go inside and listen to guidance before we make the next step. That became really, really clear to me, because folks were, you know, grappling with
but there are bad people.
But there are bad people, and there are things that have to change, and all of this stuff, and you know,
we've been through that here. You know,
I feel it too. We've talked a lot about it. You know, I remember when Glen was talking about one night when Regina was.
We still we joke about it.
Well, one night Regina was doing a sad song, and Glen was struggling with
seeing Nazis in the street.
Well, he actually saw these guys
with
Nazi tattoos on their neck, you know, and he was really distraught about it. And
there was an altercation.
Well, you stepped in and it caused some stuff.
A series of miraculous events.
Yeah, it did. But anyway, it was difficult for him to deal with, and it was difficult for me to deal with it. And so we brought the situation to Regina, and she goes, "Why don't you walk on the other side of the street?"
You know,
why are you walking?
You know, it's like,
so you see this guy,
you know,
why don't you go and walk on the other side?
So that's how you were pursuing your happiness that day.
I just think that was. I thought that was really great.
You know, that's how you were pursuing the love of God, presenting as the loving child of God that day. I understand.
Yeah.
You know,
she was so kind. She was really kind, and you know, it's just.
And so it's more. It's what is mine to do? What can I? You know, and it's always, I can change the world best by doing what is mine to do and changing myself. Right.
Yes, exactly.
Being aware and getting myself on track rather than trying to police other bodies through space, as I like to say.
Yeah. So.
Keep learning that lesson. You know, I'm not a body, I'm free. But you, however, are a body and are not free, and I'm going to make you know the reversal of that. Seeing both of those things as the same concept. Just like to lock myself up is I'm also locking up other people. When I do it to myself. When I lock myself into a body and a thing, I'm locking everybody else into things and bodies and stuff.
Yeah, because that's all you can see. You only see the illusion.
So you, God puts Nazis on your sidewalk to pop you out of it. I guess.
Not their sidewalk, your sidewalk. That was yours to deal with, not anybody else's.
I know. Lessons still to be learned, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
I know, as the story continues, you know. Well, I mean, I hope the story continues. I want to live to be very, 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 very old, you know.
Oh, good.
But constantly letting go of the story, right?
Yeah. So that's another boy. You know, I am so happy for Awakening Together's teachings.
Oh, I know.
And for us being here.
You guys are the bomb.
Yeah, you really are. I mean, everything that we've learned here and put into practice was
serviceable
for our experiences this weekend, because it was really challenging. We went through some really challenging stuff.
I felt like I got the training wheels off, you know, and I wobbled a bit, but I'm riding now, you know. You know, I'm not ready for a ramp or anything like that yet, but I feel confident, you know, in my skill level right now. But you know, I know there's more, you know. So it's like, just, you know, it's, you know.
I'm so thankful
for you.
Know,
yeah. Thank you for your practice.
And I understand what awareness is now, you know. And I really, whenever I was getting agitated, I was able to step out and look at that agitation and say who is agitated. That was so helpful. That was so helpful. And then to bring it, you know, to awareness was curative. It was indeed was curative, because we felt like we were on with a group of people that we don't really know very well. So we were on display like at all times, you know, and so we felt like you know, if we made a mistake, oh my God, you know, like that was horrible. But all the mistakes happened. Everything was fine. Everybody came together and made it all work out just beautifully. And, you know, here we are back again with you guys, our wonderful family.
Well, I'll tell you next week whether they got any audio or video out of it. I'm just kidding. I know they did. But you know,
we did some beautiful video and audio
I think we did.
and photographs. So anyway,
Let's
let's ring some bells.
Let's get present for the message.
Do some breathing and get present for the message. I'm gonna actually play.
We have a special treat for
a
you
song.
today.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna play a live meditation song. I've been wanting to play it all day long, and Glen is gonna make his debut
on the egg,
on the shaker egg. With
debut on the shaker egg. So be kind. Be kind.
So here we go. Let's breathe. What a joy to be here again in the Awakening Together Sanctuary on this Sunday afternoon. Together, as we co-create this wonderful circle of love, which includes everything that we like and everything that we don't like, which right now is I'm not liking this little flutter and coughing in my throat. So I'm just going to be really present with that right now. Blessed be, all is well, God is with me, God is with you, and we are together in this amazing, unconditional circle of love. May we hear tonight what we need to hear, and may we say and speak to what we need to say and speak to. And if there are any questions that arise, just unmute and ask them, or anything that comes to mind while we're together, just unmute and share. Because here we are, brothers and sisters, creating this wonderful atmosphere, this wonderful community. So, I just say, blessed be, we are blessed, and so it is. Oh, all right. So, hi, Rana.
Hey.
Hey, it's good to see ya. So, I have been wanting to play this song all day long.
She's had a bossa nova on her heart.
So here we go. It's a little bossa nova number. And Glen is making his debut on the shaker egg. So.
It was 92 today, so we thought we'd do a bossa nova.
Right, here we go. All right, and it goes like this. How about Glen Shaker?
Okay.
I know.
Thank you,
Just
thank
like-
you, thank you. We did it. I've never
Amazing.
been able to do it really, and so it's what we haven't done. It was like, I can't even do an egg.
But you did.
But no,
But you did,
clicked,
Blanche,
Dave.
you did.
Something happened. I was touched by the egg gods, and I got it for some reason. For whatever, however that works. You know.
Well, it sure worked.
Well, what also works is A Course in Miracles.
It does, by the way.
Turns out, you know.
Turns out.
This is one of the we're going to talk about this substitutes tonight. Because where we are,
Blessed by the egg,
blessed by the egg. I love that. And yeah, we're on chapter 18, and chapter 19,
Which are two of your favorites?
which are two of my favorite chapters in the Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
Is the apex. This is the top of the mountain at the hero's journey. If you've joined us here tonight, it is no accident. You've come on a very special occasion, very special. Every night's special, but it's like we're going to do 2 weeks. We're going to do 2 weeks on what is yours to do, because that is the mission. You wake up and you go, oh, I have something to do. I have a purpose now. Where before you were a role or you were a society or a personality or whatever like that, and you transition into this. I'm moving forward in the direction of love and peace, and that is a specific things that I must do, right? Without regard to whatever else is happening, you begin to have a purpose. What is yours to do? You awaken. When it happens, you go, oh, I'm present, and there's something that this body, this incarnation, or whatever we were going to talk about it, is compelled to do. We do 2 weeks on that. So this week we're going to talk about why we keep reaching for the sweet and low instead of the real thing, right? Something artificial versus the real thing. Reality is the real thing, but we keep trying all the artificial sweeteners around. We don't want too much reality. It's too harsh. It's too pure. It's too bitter, or what? I don't know. Whatever it is, we keep choosing something other than being here. So, what's the big substitute? We're gonna talk about a little bit of that today. So this is a sweet and low lesson.
That's so funny that we or I will say I sometimes think reality is harsh, and that the substitute for reality is much easier, when in fact it's quite the opposite. And when I just turn it over instead of grappling on to what I think is mine,
Hey, Jacqueline, glad you're here.
Hey, Jacqueline! Sorry we missed you this morning.
No.
We've been on retreat with Unity Church of New York.
Yeah.
I was doing the music and Glen
We were
was
doing the audio, visual, and recording.
audio
and stuff
visual.
like that.
Yeah, so we're back tonight.
I know. And I haven't. I've been watching someone else teach for 4 days.
And he's so excited, so let's let him teach.
Look,
It's been great though,
You know?
because it was all.
it's good to listen to somebody else,
Yeah.
to listen to what you do come out of somebody else's mouth. You go,
Exactly.
oh, and you're going, oh, more new connections, right?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. It takes a village to get this one out the door sometimes.
And it was really cool because the teaching from Reverend Justin was perfectly in alignment with what we do here in Awakening Together. It was so beautiful. We were just like,
Yolanda and I kept throwing each other looks, all the way across the room.
we heard Regina, we heard Jacqueline, we heard Sina, we heard everybody.
We've been praising your names in
Yeah.
in a little room in Vermont.
No, we were in Connecticut. Yeah.
Same. It was pretty.
Yeah, it was very pretty.
So this we're on. If you're here, we're gonna talk 2 weeks on the apex of A Course in Miracles. That we're at the top of the mountain at A Course in Miracles. What is yours to do? Open up your heart. Discover what is ours. Well, to be present to what is, but what is ours to do? What is reality? But it's called the passing of the dream. The passing of the dream. And we're going to look at section 1. The substitute reality, which is why I call this the sweet and low lesson. So keep going. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Okay.
I love this.
The first line. To substitute is to accept instead. To substitute is to choose between renouncing one aspect of the sonship in favor of the other.
It's called a special purpose.
Right. To fragment is to exclude, and substitution is the strongest defense the ego has for separation. The Holy Spirit never uses substitutes. Where the ego perceives one person as a replacement for another, the Holy Spirit sees them joined and indivisible. He does not judge between them. One would unite, the other separate. But everything seems to come between the fragmented relationships the ego sponsors to destroy.
Oh. See,
That's an odd little sentence.
sponsors to destroy. Ego sponsors
Yeah.
to destroy. So this is unite. You know, unite. The joining versus substitution. You know, unite. The substitution, she says, she gives the definition, is to accept instead, right? To renounce one aspect for another. To put it more succinctly, it's how we cut up people, right? I cut you into a role or a body parts, right? The substitution, to renounce one aspect for another, is cut ourselves up, cut other people to make a special purpose out of you or her, instead of the holy purpose that we learned last couple weeks ago, holiness. Like, if we're aware of reality, we're both on the same page, and we're both answering, we're connected. That's where she's trying to get us. Unite versus the joining versus substitution. In the substitution, if a substitution is to accept instead, we need to renounce one aspect for another, which is to cut up people. It gives a special purpose, and it creates hierarchies. Personality. These kind of personalities, or this is better. This kind of person is better than that kind of person. It is literally the perception of difference. It separates. It's ego sponsored, and it has the goal of separation. Of course, it has the goal of separation. That's the goal is destruction, because it knows those are all things. Those are all aspects of a body, of a material thing. So we know there's a beginning and a middle into it. The goal is destruction. The goal is the death of all of those things, is the end of all of that. And so the reminder here is, this is how we don't see people for who they are. We see them as cut up stories that we tell about them. That's how we ruin relationships. We cut up people into body parts or roles or things or stories or what they did, instead of ever really seeing or ever being in the relationship. And so the tendency isn't to heal the relationship. The tendency becomes to just keep switching bodies, switching bosses, switching friends, switching lovers, switching, just moving, just burning through people. The truth is that we're all joined in common purpose. The opposite of that is this perception of sameness. I see you in me. In my relationships, it unites this perception of the Holy Spirit's other perception. She says, this joining is the perception, this uniting is the perception of the Holy Spirit. Our reality, what our identity is. So that's how she wants to start this out. Where are we? Unite, the separation versus substitution. It's how we're cutting up people.
What was it again? You said separation instead of substitution, but I don't think that's what you meant. What
The
did you
joining
mean?
versus
Oh,
substitution.
you said separation versus substitution. It's
Unite,
joining,
the joining versus substitution.
Yeah, I wanted to clear that up. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Okay. Paragraph 3. The one emotion in which substitution is impossible is love. Fear involves substitution by definition, for it is love's replacement. In fear, no one is seen complete. The body is emphasized with special emphasis on certain parts and used as the standard for comparison of acceptance or rejection for acting out a special form of fear. Right. Yes, I see that. You who believe that God is fear made but one substitution. It has taken many forms because it was the substitution of illusion for truth, of fragmentation for wholeness. Everything you see reflects it, and every special relationship that you have ever made is part of it. Wow.
So you see the paradigm there, right? You see it very clearly. Two different worlds start to emerge: love and the special form, love and the special form of fear. Fear is what we choose to substitute for love. Love is just like, it's just too dangerous. I know what to do with fear, strangle it or beat it or violent. I know what to do with fear. Fear gives me, something like really concrete to do with this body and stuff. Fear is how we choose to substitute. We break people into pieces, body parts and things and uses, and it makes us not complete, makes the other person not complete. No one is complete, no one is whole, no one is enough. It creates inconsistent behavior out of ourselves. See, this doesn't start to sound familiar. It creates inconsistent behavior of ourselves, and we don't want to be ourselves because we don't value that in ourselves. So we're not going to let other people see that see ourselves, because we don't even value ourselves. So we get into these special relationships. Now, we've talked a lot about special relationships. They're unavoidable. It's what you use them for, what their intent is for, that determines their outcome. So we have a choice about special relationships, all your relationships really, and that is all your special relationships is all your triggers. So you see special relationships things like all your triggers. So special relationships are like whose goal is destruction. All that special stuff that you got to do this and say these things and magic, and you did this and it meant this and all that stuff. That is the goal is destruction. Hopefully we can begin to see that pursuing the correction of the past and an idealistic future in the present isn't something that's very satisfying. She said, what is satisfying is love, and it has no substitute. And guess where it can be found? Guess where the only place love can be found? In the holy instant. The holy instant, to be present to what is. And you discover that it's like, oh, I was looking for something that's already here. That's where the apex of A Course in Miracles is. Where's this light I'm seeking? What's this? I know I feel like the perversion I think I've somebody is the ego. The knowledge, your holiness is the perversion kind of the knowledge of your own holiness is the investment of that holiness into a thing that creates special relationships. When all of identity belongs in the Holy Spirit, belongs within. So this journey of the Holy Spirit becomes, I don't trust the stories I tell about the world. I want to trust what I can verify, what I know is now and here. And that begins the journey within, because it isn't without. This is the love and the special forms of fear, our triggers, to keep us outside of the moment. Because we run off to fix you, or run off to correct this, or run off to make do for that, or run off to, just run off for the moment. I mean, any number of ways. So keep going.
Run off in traffic.
Run off in anger, run off in lust, run off in, all kinds of stuff.
I'm going to see what
we okay? How we doing?
I don't know. I wanted to look at the chat for a second. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Hi, Melissa.
Yeah, glad you're here.
Cool. All right. You may be surprised to... You may be surprised. Are you okay?
This is okay. Keep going.
Okay.
Listen.
Maybe a trigger is happening here. Let's see.
This is a big awakening for me.
All right. Okay, go back to the thing. You may be surprised to hear how very different is reality from what you see. That was the point I was trying to make earlier. How very different reality is from what you see. I have to keep reminding myself of that over and over. Do
Which
you?
is where we went,
Yeah, exactly.
You really
right? That's why he was okay. Now I say, yeah, exactly. How very different is reality from what you see. You do not realize the magnitude of that one error. I mean, and this is Reverend Justin was speaking to this
It is.
too.
But keep going.
The magnitude of that one error. It was so vast and so completely incredible that from it a world of total unreality had to emerge.
And this whole paragraph, I want you to read kind of slow-ish.
Yeah.
Because this is the mechanism. This is the mechanism. If you can listen closely, the mechanism is here, and see if you can recognize your favorite way of doing it.
All right, let's see. That was the first projection of error outward. The world arose to hide it and became the screen on which it was projected and drawn between you and the truth. For truth extends inward, where the idea of loss is meaningless and only increase is conceivable. Do you really think it's strange that a world in which everything is backwards and upside down arose from this projection of error? I'm gonna read that again. Do you really think it's strange that a world in which everything is backwards and upside down arose from this projection of error? For truth brought to this could only remain within in quiet, and take no part in all the mad projection by which this world was made. Call it not sin, but madness, for such it was, and so it still remains. Invest it not with guilt, for guilt implies it was accomplished in reality. And above all, be not afraid of it. And that's why I wanted to sing that song a little while ago. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. I sang it 4 times. I sang that 4 times. When I wrote it, it was like I was reminding myself that there is nothing to fear. Obviously, yeah.
Cast out of heaven. Cast out of heaven versus reality. Okay? The error is the desire for the substitution. Not this, not this. You know, anything but this. And we can see it, it's identification with form. It's identification with a social role. It's hierarchies of being. I need to change because I would have more advantages if I had this surgery or if my teeth were whiter. That's what I think a lot. She calls this backward and upside down than reality. She calls that backward and upside down. Gives you a place to look for it, doesn't it?
I'm backwards and upside down.
If you're backwards and upside down, gives you a place to look for it. The reminder is this is madness. So underneath that is, so have compassion for yourself and other people.
True.
When they're mad, when you go mad, have compassion for yourself and have compassion for others that you recognize your own madness in. This is madness, and have compassion for yourself. Because attack is impossible, right? Attack isn't, we're at the point, we're past the lesson of attack is impossible. So if you're onto yourself, you just like, oh, I'm doing that mad impossible thing again. Attack it isn't possible, so we can let go of all the guilt and shame about it. Because that's all associated with the narrative about this imaginary like personality and social structure and thing that you've got to be in order to have access to, you know, resources and intimacy. The request is, don't add guilt and fear to your error. Okay, you made a mistake. You can recognize the mistake. We'll learn better, do better. And then you go, no, I need to sit and wallow in it. I need to tell my friends 4 stories so they can like tell me how bad person I am, you know, or whatever. I need to wallow in it. It's like, no, if you quick as you can drop it and learn better, you say, I learned the lesson. I can move on. I checked that in my little lesson book. Learn the lesson. Do it. Let go of guilt and shame. Let go of all of that association. The request is, just don't add guilt and fear to the error. And above all, don't be afraid that you don't know and you're scared. Don't be afraid of your fear, and don't be afraid of what you don't know. What good advice. Because what I don't know, the moment provides. That's an invitation to be present. That's an invitation to ask. That's an invitation. So it says, "Oh, I'm embedded in community. I don't have to know everything. I'm one with. My brothers are one with me. I can. I don't have to carry around all the. I only need it when I need it, and it's available if I can see it."
I love that you made this little note. Don't be afraid of your fear. Don't be afraid of your fear. Right?
And, yeah.
That's so cool. And thanks, Arizona, for chat in the chat. What you put in the chat. Just having fear sometimes is unavoidable, right? But being afraid of your fear compounds the whole problem.
Because you won't even approach it, right? Being afraid of even like looking.
Yeah.
You got to like say, "Oh no, I'm bigger than my fear. My fear is something I'm making up. My fear is I'm willing to. I have something to look at in my narrative, in the story I tell about the body and the personality."
When you seem to see some twisted form of the original error rising to frighten you, say only, "God is not fear, but love, and it will disappear. The truth will save you." Inward is sanity. Insanity is outside you. You but believe it is the other way. Your little senseless substitutions have no substance. Let them all go. Dancing in the wind, dripping and turning until they disappear from sight, far, far outside of you.
She does this whole long leaf metaphor. It's like let it go and watch it like flitter away.
Let it go.
For the insubstantial thing that it is. Keep going.
And turn you to the stately calm within. Ah, yes. Where in holy stillness dwells the living God you never left, and who never left you. The Holy Spirit takes you gently by the hand and retraces with you your mad journey outside yourself, leading you gently back to the truth and safety within.
Take my hand.
Take my hand.
I know. So take my hand back to the truth and safety within. You know.
So
I want to ask you again. How many people do you hold hands with?
Oh, he's so cute.
That's that kind of intimacy. It's that kind of intimacy that's talking about here.
No one now.
No one. Who? But in our lives, we've held hands with our brothers and our sisters and our lovers and maybe school children and stuff like that. So we have memories of holding hands. It hasn't always been like romantic, right?
Right.
So yeah, I had to hold hands in school. Did you have to hold hands in schools with people you did not like?
Yeah, that's true.
They make you hold hands. That was part of my elementary school. So just again, it's like this metaphor of holding hands. And walking to heaven is one that appears over and over and over again in A Course in Miracles. Because it's intimate, brother, sister, mother, you can trust me, grandma stuff.
Yeah.
And that is for the physical body to feel safe, to take this risk of feeling it's going to burst apart. Sometimes. Do you ever so afraid you get shaky? Do you ever feel like you were just gonna explode?
Yeah.
How difficult it is. Like, look, let's just be honest about how difficult it is to live through some bodily emotions.
Okay, we just experienced that because we were making mistakes right and left, and the emotions were so strong within us because we were like,
I'm kind of intense, but y'all don't know that.
But the emotions were so strong, right?
I want to do a good
and
job.
So we were practicing, y'all. We were practicing, right? We were doing our practice, and right before we left this morning, someone came up to me and said, "I just want to thank you for the calmness that you have shown me all throughout this retreat." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that was what was perceived because I was a nervous wreck for like half the time."
Yeah. So. Take my hand back to the truth and safety within, because the mad journey is outside of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
The mad journey is outside of yourself. Inside is stately calm. And holy stillness dwells within. She says, holy stillness, stately calm.
Yeah.
The method is God isn't fear but love. So if you're faced with a choice, what you going to do? The loving, most loving thing that you can possibly have a healthy management of.
Mm-hmm.
Do your best.
Mm-hmm.
The request here is to let go of all the ways that we cut up other people.
Mm-hmm.
We break them. We don't ever see them. It's the fear of others. It's fixing our past. It's it's fixing the past. It's fixing ourselves. It's fixing other people, and it's the fear of other people and other bodies. Let go of all the ways in which we cut up other people, and the ways in which I think the best of the ways that illustrates this well, the ways in which we cut up other people is that we see people as broken.
Yeah.
We see people as we just see a world of broken things that need to be fixed. And it's this move in the Course of Miracles is from fixing the outward and having an outward glance to having an inward glance and finding purpose in an inward purpose rather than an outward purpose.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our socialization and all of our world is about this outward purpose. And I don't mind the outward purpose. I get up every day and shower and shave and stuff like that. The outward purpose is, the outward thing is very important to me, but it is in service, right?
Yes.
It is in service to a deeper purpose. So it didn't always used to be that way.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Within yourself, you love your brother with a perfect love. Here is holy ground, in which no substitution can enter, and where only the truth in one another can abide. Here you are joined in God as much together as you are with him. Here is the radiant truth to which the Holy Spirit has committed your relationship. In you there is no separation, and no substitute can keep you from your brother. Your reality was God's creation and has no substitute. You are so firmly joined in truth that only God is there, and he would never accept something else instead of you. He loves you both equally and as one. And as he loves you, so are you. God is with you, my brother. Let us join in him in peace and gratitude, and accept his gift as our most holy and perfect reality, which we share in him.
So this is holy. So every time there's a relationship, it's a holy ground. It's the gift of the most holy and perfect reality, something that I call togetherness. This perfect love of all beings, this appreciation and gratitude, the Course says, is what we owe our brother. This together, she says, you're together in a committed relationship, right? Because God made us whole. You're in a committed relationship. The request is to have faith in other people. So read this last bit, and I think we're going to be done.
Yeah. Okay. Heaven is restored to all the sonship through your relationship, for in it lies the sonship, whole and beautiful, safe in your love. The universe within you stands with you. Together. The universe within you stands with you, together, and heaven looks with love on what is joined in it, along with its creator. Return with me to heaven, walking together out of this world and through another to the loveliness and joy the other holds within it. Would you still further weaken and break apart what is already broken and helpless? Or would you not prefer to heal what has been broken?
Okay. The doorway to this universe within, she's telling us, is in relationships, being present in relationship. Heaven rejoices at this joining, this living, this perception. We talked about the second paragraph of sameness. Heaven, she calls a sense of loveliness and joy. That's why I call this as joy as your default setting. Heaven heals what I perceive as broken versus what's looking at everything diseased. It heals my perception. Doesn't cure disease. It heals my perception. And it's a return to heaven. She says, hold my hand. Hold my hand. We'll walk out of this world. Hold my hand. We'll walk out of this world. Do you want to walk out of this world of suffering? Do we want to walk out of it? Want to walk out of this suffering personality that's got things to do and finances and everything like that, and turn it over to something that is real, that actually knows how to do all that stuff. And so that we become the actual embodiment of joy on the face of the Glen, or the thing, what's happening here. That's what I'm learning is becoming a really interesting project for me. You know. So I want to say that appreciate each and every one of you. The relationships is my jam, and being present to how I feel and what is going on has been in relationships, has been in some of the greatest rewards I've had has been in community.
Yeah.
People have taken my hand. Because that's what we do to create the conditions of the awakening of others. And each of us do that in a very specific way. So, I hope
we love you guys.
we love each and every one of you. My name is Reverend Glen Morton Ganaway. I'm your favorite anarchist preacher, and this is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. We love you. We'll see you next Sunday.